Is buying really worth it, or should you just keep on renting? Also, how does NAR settlement affect home buyers?
Plus, we're going to give you some insider secrets about a great new loan product that may be perfect for you to utilize. So, this is the Max One Market Update. My name is Alan Richardson. This is Ming Richardson. We're part of the Max One team. We're here to help you with all your home buying and selling needs. We kind of want to jump right in here and talk about.
Why buy versus
You're
rent?
right. You know,
Our chief economist at NAR, Mr. Young, has explained that household equity in real estate is at record high right now. This means there has been a huge increase in wealth in realtors' past client to the tune of $35 trillion
homeowners have $35 trillion
throughout the United
in
States.
wealth. And so you got to understand that wealth for the vast majority of Americans comes in the form of home ownership. What was stressed by the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors is something that we've seen, and it's been continuing to happen year after year after year.
So,
Um,
on the average, pre-pandemic, the average homeowner's net worth is 295,000. Now,
However,
rolling, yeah,
the average renter's net worth
$7,300.
$7,300 is the average
If you think
renter net
about it,
worth.
it's only money they have in the bank is their worth. They have no asset.
Yeah.
Okay. So now roll back to today's date. We're actually on the average in the United States. If you own a home, your worth is $415,000.
That's if you just took all the net worth for all homes in the US and you divide it by the number of homeowners. The average homeowner net worth is $415,000.
That's $120,000 jump within 5 years.
Yeah. And now the bad news here, if you are a renter, the average net worth for a renter in the United States as of right now, just the average and not pointing fingers, is $10,000.
Yep.
And so the question that you have to ask yourself is, do I want to be part of the group whose net worth is worth $10,000? Or do I want to be part of the group whose net worth is $415,000? We realize that buying in this market can be challenging, but we want to be very encouraging about it is so worth it. For the vast majority of Americans, home ownership is their source of wealth, and it just carries on again and again and again. Like it is so important to understand how powerful this is for your future. You buy a home, you change the dynamics for generations.
Absolutely.
It really is. It is that important. And then when's the best time to buy?
According to ATTO and
Adam.
Adam, they said November is the best time.
And so we wanted to share that with you because this is where we're at now. When you say, well, but why November? Well, first thing is there's less people shopping on the market in the month of November. At the same time, there's more listings, and it's also the time when the buyers, what's called the buyer's premium, is at its lowest. So like this is the right time to buy. And I know that a lot of folks like, I'm waiting for interest rates to go down. I'm waiting for this. I'm waiting for this. Look, this is a matter of you're either in the market or you're not. And the idea that I'm going to sit around and wait, that's not healthy. If you're trying to get in to start building wealth, then you have to get in and start building wealth. The idea that you can time the market, I hear all the time from folks that they think that they can buy low, sell high. Everybody wants to do that. But if you do that, you miss out on so much of the market activity because, in real estate, it's not what goes up will come down. It just like for 50 plus years, property value has appreciated at 4.5% a year. Right?
Even through the pandemic, downturn in the market, if you take an average of timeline, we still are up increasing on the average of 4% a
Yeah.
year. So even though we may have some downturns once in a while, but historically we'll never get back to where we were.
Well, and not only that, like if I could buy some of those homes at the prices they were at the downturn of the market, I would gobble them up even before the downturn of the market because property still I mean, we're
It
talking, I
appreciating.
mean, Grant, we're talking 15, 16 years ago now at this point, from 2007, 2008. But, it's a big, big deal. Now, now if you are buying, are you considering a multi generational home?
Because right now we got 17% of our buyers are buying multi-generation home. What that means is a single family home, but it has two separate levels, so to speak, where there's two separate kitchen, laundry room, bedroom, living and dining, whatever it is, it's on separate floors. So people are looking at single family that may have dual purposes.
Well, the reason that we bring this up is because, like the number one reason why people choose to buy a multi generational household is the savings that it provides.
Absolutely.
You're combining two different households, that kind of stuff. Everyone gets a little bit more for their money that way. In addition, if you are in a situation where you want to be the caregiver, or you need the caregivers, because it could be I want to take care of my parents, or it could be my parents are going to help watch my kids, or
Yeah, the
I just
grandbabies.
love my family being close to them, right? So it can be, there's so many reasons why it is. It's what we're finding is that for a lot of buyers, you just have to figure out what's important to you, and there is a house that matches up with your needs, wants, desires, as well as especially your pricing. I mean, how much money you have to put down. So all we're saying is the idea of what a house looks like today is a lot different than what it's looked like in the past. A lot of people, they picture this
White
little white
fence.
picket fence
Yeah.
ranch, those kind of things. Whereas we're seeing that for most of our first time buyers, townhomes is probably one of their most common choices. It's really
Well,
hard
it's
to
a
find a little ranch.
well, if
And
you think about it, it's convenience. They don't have to worry about mowing the grass
yeah,
as much. Don't have a whole lot of maintenance, and for them, it's about the freedom to do
mm.
whatever they personally desire versus maintain a property.
So be open minded, but if you are in a multi generational kind of situation, consider that might be a good choice for you out
Hmm.
there. So
Now let's change the topic.
yeah.
How does NAR settlement affect home buyers?
Well, see, we spend a lot of time coaching and mentoring and advising real estate agents. We want to talk a little bit
To you,
to our buyers and sellers out there, because a lot of times you'll see some things in the news, and like how does that impact me? And like a lot of folks have heard about the NAR settlement, and they've heard that maybe realtors were colluding and that kind of stuff. And then what does it all mean at the end of the day? And so you understand that there was an NAR settlement. It really did kind of happen, come out of Missouri of all places. How Missouri affects Georgia real estate? Well, there's kind of a
no.
story that goes along with that, because what it was it got turned into class action status, and the way that some of the contracts were written in those states is not necessarily the same way those contracts were written here in Georgia.
We don't practice that way here.
And so, like in those states, the seller was required to compensate the buyer's agent for an equal amount, no questions asked, and that's not the
Correct.
right way to
So
do it.
what happened was the seller has no
Yep.
option. But here in Georgia, our seller always had the option whether or not they want to compensate the buyer's agent,
Yep.
because when they bought their home, they didn't pay any buyer's brokerage
Yeah.
fee. So, it's real estate is local. So, whatever that your local real estate is doing, just listen to it and ask them the right question,
Well,
and understand that that's the way. Now doesn't mean you can't think outside your box. You can definitely do that all day.
but
So
let's talk about like what were the fallout, or what was the changes that happened. And so some of the things that came from the National Association of Realtors settlement said that buyers must have a written agreement with
with a
the
buyer broker,
with a written agreement with their buyer's agent prior to looking at any homes. Realtors were not allowed to say that their services were free.
they're not, because
And
we all earn an income, make a living.
well, and there was a point where there will be agents who said, "Look, the seller's just going to pay me," and so they really wanted to go to the point to where the seller and the seller's agent negotiate their compensation, and the seller can cover the compensation for the buyer if they so choose to, but nothing was going to be kind of considered to be written in stone the way it was in
Correct.
the past. And so, for a buyer's perspective, a lot of folks expected that this was really going to put the monkey and put a burden on our buyers, but actually it really hasn't.
No.
And allow us to explain. So let's say that Ming is my agent and I'm the buyer, and Ming and I, we talk about it, and she talks to me about these are all the services that she's going to provide, and and
And this is my
and this
compensation
is the compensation, and
for
so
my service, is
I
my
agree.
knowledge.
I agree to that, but I say, I don't have a lot of money, and Ming says, well,
We can negotiate it.
we can ask for the seller to pay to cover all or part of that. We might be able to cover that as part of closing costs. We might be able to, you may have to cover part of it. We may be able to negotiate that into the purchase price of the property. But the whole bottom line is that our buyers today need to be able to finance in their compensation, because especially, I mean, buyers, everyone in my, obviously we're very biased, but we believe that everyone needs representation
Well,
in,
this is your biggest
in
investment in your life. Why would you do something that you're not familiar with and take a risk at it and not be guided by an expert?
yeah.
I
So,
mean, you know,
but a lot of folks thought that when this happened, that would mean that buyers would either stop getting representation, or that they would just have to come out of pocket, and it would just be another
that's
huge
not the
expense.
case.
And that's really not the case, because for buyers, an affordability issue. And
Correct.
if I'm the buyer and I want to go look at this house and I want to finance in my compensation, then that has to be part of the purchase price when I buy the home. So if that seller's not going to help
Agree to it.
agree to help cover the cost of of my
Or
agent's compensation,
allow the buyer to roll in their buyer's broker
yeah,
compensation in the purchase sale, then it becomes an affordability issue. So the buyer will say, "Thank you very much. I need to go look at the next home."
yeah. So, you will see some folks out there, folks in the industry say, "Look, you have to sign this before I'll show you property," and that is true,
That
right?
is true.
The rules of the multi listing service do state that. However, I'm going to encourage you, please find someone that you can connect with, someone who's going to
You
explain the
trust.
whole process. This is everything I provide. These are all the services I provide. These are the fees I charge. They're going to walk you through and explain to you. In my opinion, you should never just stop and say, okay, I'll sign a paper if you'll show me a house. That's not going to be a realtor that you want to work with. That's not a real estate
No,
professional who's really looking out for your best interest on that one. You want to meet with someone, have them explain the entire home buying process, and you need to have a real sense of confidence and trust in that. That's when you decide to hire that agent. But remember that, there's a lot of options on you. That agent can't get paid more than what you agree to, but who can pay that? There's a lot of options there for
that's
you.
right. So just understand that you have options, and if a realtor or real estate agent should explain that
Yeah.
to you.
Now, one of the new options that we want to throw out there, and it is what's happening
With
with,
the FHA
yeah,
loans.
yeah, what's happening with them.
So we're having 100% FHA loan. What that means is that a lot of people are getting FHA loan with down payment assistance. So that DPA, down payment assistance, are covering the 3.5% down payment.
Normally on an FHA loan, the borrower is required to bring 3.5%. However, with 100% FHA, what you're basically getting is a shorter term second mortgage for the additional 3.5%, which means that it covers all of your purchase
Price.
price right up front. So doesn't mean that you don't need earnest money. Doesn't mean
You
you don't have
have
to
to have
have
closing
appraisal and
costs.
those
Yes.
kind of things. Doesn't mean that you don't need any money. But as far as like your down
It
payment,
minimizes your money
out of
outlay
pocket,
out.
yeah, right out of pocket, right from the very beginning. So don't, like when it really comes, we as real estate folks, I'm not going to say this is the loan product for you, or this is the loan product, or this should be, and those kind of things. That's not our job. We are here to kind of advise and talk to you about generalities. But when it comes to what is the right loan product for you, that's going to come between you and a mortgage professional, an originating branch manager,
Right.
or a loan officer, or whatever it may be. That lender,
Should be your best friend,
well,
because just remember, they're going to make you and they're not there to break you because they don't get their compensation until your file is closed.
Right.
So they work really hard for our clients, and understand you have to be very transparent with this lender. If you withheld information, that could be information that would have been a dead stop in a tract. There's nothing the lender can do to help you. So just be very transparent about your
Yeah.
position, your finances with them. They're not there to tattletale to everybody else in the world. They're there to help you obtain that loan.
Well, and also, like the idea of being honest, like that's you want to be really, really honest. This is the time for confessionals. This is the time if you're going to say it to your priest, you need to say it to your loan officer,
Yes,
right? Because the bottom line here is let's say, well, I've had this issue happen in the past. They're going to know what loan product may help you work around that,
correct.
or look, I just don't have a lot of money. Maybe they would recommend the
A
100%
certain
FHA or a
DPA.
down payment program. So like the idea that like you don't have to hold up any walls. You need to tear all that down to really, because they're there to help you get a mortgage, but
Absolutely.
you got to throw all the information out there so that they can help you do that. Your real A lot of folks come to the real estate agent looking for advice about mortgages, and we can give some basic advice, but when you get into the nitty gritty, is it FHA, is it VA, is it a conventional loan, how much money down, what interest rates do I need, those kind of things, that's when you really want to be talking to your lender. Now for us, our go-to lender is definitely Sharon Thompson. She's with American Pacific Mortgage. We'll share her information on here. If you need an honorable, wonderful woman to work with, we absolutely adore Sharon. So please consider, we'll throw her information up here as well.
So reach out to our team if we can be of any assistance with your home buying or selling home. So we will love to help you.
Bye now.
Thank you. Have a great day.